You've just killed someone. For the first time in your life, he's wearing a German uniform. Your hands won't stop shaking. You don't even remember pulling the trigger. Around you, the battle is still raging. Bullets snap overhead. Smoke hides the beach. Men are screaming for medics. And somewhere out there, thousands more soldiers are fighting to stay alive. You don't know it yet. But the decisions you make over the next few hours will decide whether you ever see home again. So, how did an ordinary 19-year-old end up fighting in the largest amphibious invasion in human history? Let's go back to the morning of June 6th, 1944. You wake before sunrise, not because you've slept, but because nobody on your landing craft could. The sea has been rough all night. Cold waves slam against the steel hull. The smell of diesel, salt water, vomit, and fear fills the cramped compartment. There are 30 men packed shoulder to shoulder around you. Some stare at the floor, some quietly check their rifles. Again and again. One soldier pulls a photograph from his pocket. His wife, his baby daughter. He folds it carefully and slips it back inside his jacket. Another tries to joke. Nobody laughs. The engines continue roaring toward France. Then, your commanding officer breaks the silence. 30 minutes. Nobody says a word, because everyone knows what those two words really mean. In 30 minutes, the front ramp will open, and you'll step into history, or you'll die trying. The closer you get, the quieter everyone becomes. You check your rifle one last time. 36 rounds, a bayonet, 2 grenades, a canteen, a first aid pouch, nearly 30 kilograms of equipment strapped to your body. If you fall into deep water, that weight could pull you straight to the bottom. No one mentions it, but everyone knows. Outside, the darkness begins to fade. A faint orange glow appears on the horizon. France. Somewhere beyond that coastline, thousands of German soldiers are awake. They know an invasion is coming. They just don't know exactly where. You glance across the landing craft. Most of the men are about your age, 18, 19, 20. A few veterans who fought in North Africa or Italy sit silently. They've seen combat before. The look in their eyes tells you this won't be anything like training. Suddenly, the officer speaks again. If we stop, keep moving. If the man beside you falls, keep moving. If you're scared, so is everyone else. Then he pauses, looks each of you in the eye, and says something you'll remember for the rest of your life. Good luck. The engines begin slowing down. The landing craft rocks harder than before. You hear something, faint at first. Boom, boom, boom. The horizon erupts with flashes of light. The naval bombardment has begun. Battleships miles behind you are firing shells larger than small cars toward the beaches ahead. The invasion has started, but for you, the hardest part hasn't even begun. The bombardment grows louder. Every explosion shakes the sea beneath you. Somewhere ahead, thousands of shells are crashing into the German defenses. You want to believe nothing could survive that. But war rarely goes according to plan. The officer checks his watch. 10 minutes. You can finally see the coastline. Dark cliffs, smoke rising into the sky, flashes of artillery. It doesn't look like a beach. The landing craft scrapes against the sand. The engine cuts. For one terrifying second, everything feels silent. Then, bang! A burst of machine gun fire slams into the front of the craft. The steel ramp rattles violently. Bullets punch straight through it. The soldier standing closest to the front collapses before the ramp even opens. No one has fired a shot. The coxswain looks back at all of you. His face is pale. Go! 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 The ramp crashes down. Instantly, the world explodes. Machine guns roar from the cliffs. Mortar shells tear through the surf. The first men off the boat fall almost immediately. You don't think. You jump. The water is freezing, much deeper than you expected. Your boots sink into the sand. The weight of your equipment drags you under. For one horrifying moment, you can't tell which way is up. Your lungs burn. You kick with everything you have. Finally, you burst back above the surface. Around you, it's chaos. Landing craft are burning. Bodies float in the waves. Some soldiers are trying to save drowning friends. Others are desperately cutting loose heavy packs before they sink. You force yourself forward, one step, then another. The water drops from your chest to your waist, then to your knees. You're almost at the beach. Suddenly, something punches your backpack. Another impact hits your helmet. Bullets. They aren't aiming at you. They're aiming at everyone. The beach itself has become a killing zone, and you've only been here for less than a minute. Every instinct tells you to lie down, but staying still could get you killed. The beach offers almost no cover, only scattered steel obstacles, and the bodies of men who never made it any farther. A machine gun hidden high on the cliffs. Anyone caught standing is exposed. You dive behind a twisted steel obstacle. Bullets strike the metal, sending sparks into your face. You could stay here. It feels safer, but every second you wait gives the machine guns another chance to find you. Run or stay. Either choice could be your last. You press yourself into the wet sand, trying to make yourself as small as possible. Your breathing is out of control. Your hands still won't stop shaking. Then someone grabs your shoulder. An officer. His helmet is gone. Blood runs down one side of his face. He points toward the cliffs. "We have to get off this beach." No one argues, because everyone knows the beach is a trap. The officer stands, waves his arm, and starts running. Several soldiers follow. Halfway across the sand, a burst of machine gun fire cuts through the group. Some keep moving. Some never get back up. The officer disappears into the smoke. You freeze. Your heart tells you to stay where you are. Your training tells you to move. You take one deep breath, tighten your grip on your rifle, and sprint toward the cliffs. The climb feels impossible. The loose sand gives way beneath every step. Bullets snap past your ears. You throw yourself behind a low ridge. 3 other soldiers are already there. None of you know each other's names. Doesn't matter. You're fighting together now. A German machine gun, hidden inside a concrete bunker, has pinned down everyone below. Every few seconds, another burst tears across the beach. You peek over the ridge. Instantly, a bullet smashes into the dirt inches from your face. You duck back down. Your heart pounds so hard, you can hear it over the battle. One of the soldiers pulls out a grenade. He looks at you. "You with me?" You swallow, then nod. The 4 of you begin crawling, slowly, silently, using shell craters, fallen obstacles, and clouds of smoke as cover. Every meter forward feels like an hour. The bunker grows larger. The machine gun never stops firing. Inside, German soldiers have no idea. The soldier beside you pulls the pin. He counts. 1, 2, 3. The grenade disappears through the bunker opening. A deafening explosion. The machine gun falls silent. For the first time since reaching the beach, the path ahead is open. You look back toward the shoreline. The sea is still filled with landing craft. More soldiers are arriving. The battle is far from over. But for the first time today, you realize something. You might actually survive this. You don't have time to celebrate. The bunker behind you is silent, but dozens more still overlook the beach. The battle stretches for kilometers. Smoke hangs over Normandy, so thick. It blocks out the morning sun. You hear the deep rumble of engines. Not ships, tanks, German reinforcements. A voice shouts from somewhere ahead. "Move inland." The mission has changed. You have to help secure the roads before German armored divisions arrive. You follow a narrow dirt path. Cutting through thick hedgerows, the peaceful French countryside has become a battlefield. Every hedge, every farmhouse, every tree could hide enemy soldiers. The silence is almost worse than the gunfire. Then, a single shot cracks through the air. Everyone dives for cover. No one knows where it came from. Minutes pass. No movement. No voices. Just the sound of your own breathing. Your squad moves again. Slowly. One step at a time. Suddenly, a German soldier bursts from behind a stone wall. He's just as surprised as you are. For a split second, you stare at each other. 2 frightened young men wearing different uniforms, both wondering, who will react first? Training takes over. You raise your rifle, a single shot, the soldier falls. Everything goes quiet again. You don't feel victorious. You don't feel brave. You just stand there. Then the sergeant grabs your shoulder. "Keep moving." Because on D-Day, there was no time to stop, no time to think, no time to grieve. Only one objective remained: survive long enough to see tomorrow.